Hi class, this is course 3, lesson 25, multiplying and dividing decimal numbers. This should just be a refresher for you. To multiply decimal numbers, you multiply the digits as if there were no decimal places. Then you determine the total number of digits to the right of the decimal in both of the factors, and then place the decimal in the product so that there are that number of digits to the right of the decimal. Okay, so let's do 2 examples, and then we'll do a couple examples for division. We're going to take 9/10 and multiply that times 1 and 42/100. Now, do not put 0.9 or 9/10 first when you multiply. This 1 and 42/100 has 3 digits, so put that one first. And then put the 9/10 here, and then we're going to multiply. So 9 times 2 is 18, 9 times 4 is 36, plus the 1, 37, carry the 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, notice I didn't put any decimals in. That's because I pretend they're not there until the end. So how many decimal places are in both of the factors? There are 1, 2, 3. So I need 3 in my answer, so I go 1, 2, 3, and that's where my decimal goes. My answer is 1 and 278 thousandths. This problem over here is 2 and 7/10 squared. So I need to multiply 2 and 7/10 times itself. So we're going to multiply that, 2.7, 2.7, and we're going to hit go. So 7 times 7 is 49, carry the 4, 7, 14, 18, and then you might have a 0 or a space. 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 1, 2 times 2, 4, plus the 1 is 5. Notice there are no decimals in here. There shouldn't be any. Not until the very end. Add these up. 9 and 0 is 9. 8 and 4, 2. Carry the 1. So 12, 5, 6, 729 is my answer. However, I need to count up my decimal places. So there are 1, 2 decimals. So I need to put that down here. 1, 2. 7 and 29 hundredths. Okay, now I'm just quick mentally checking this because this is about 3 times 3, right? It's a little more than 2 times 2, so 2 times 2 would be 4. You don't need to write this, but know that I'm checking my work. And 3 times 3 would be 9. So it should be between 4 and 9. And 7 is between 4 and 9, and this should be closer to 9 than to 4. So I feel pretty good about my answer. If you ended up with a decimal point in front of the 7, you should be able to tell by doing an estimation like this that you're wrong. If you end up with a decimal and you end up with an answer and it's 72.9, you should be able to estimate and figure out that you're roughly correct. Now, something might have gone wrong with the multiplication, you know, the numbers, but you're at least in the ballpark, okay? To divide, if the divisor is a whole number, you put the decimal point in the quotient directly above the place in the dividend. But if the divisor is a decimal number, you shift the decimal to the right until the divisor is a whole number, but you also, pardon me, you also shift the decimal in the dividend the same number of places to the right. So let's do this example here because I am dividing by a whole number. So 9 will go into 72 hundredths. How many times? Well, we're just going to put the decimal right up. Does 9 go into 7? No. Does 9 go into 72? Yes. And 8 times 9 is 72, and that's my quotient, 8 100ths. Okay, over here we have 6 hundredths, and that is trying to fit into 1 and 2 tenths. Okay, now notice this is the second example here. Our divisor is not a whole number, so we are going to shift the decimal however many places over until we have a whole number. So this would be 1, 2 places. You have to do the same thing in the dividend. 1, 2 places. Now notice you have a hole here, so fill it in with a 0, a placeholder. You may find it easier to do this and then to rewrite the problem as 6 dividing into 120. That way there's no problems with where the decimal is. Some of you may want to take your time to make sure that you make nice columns with your division problems. A lot of mistakes will happen where you move it over the right number of spots, but you can't read your writing. So be careful, please. 6 will go into 120. 6 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. And then I'd have this 0, and 6 would go into 0 0 times. Okay, same thing over here. You could do that. Okay. Either way, your answer here is 20. Another problem that you might want to make sure that you're familiar with, and we can do this one same but with multiplication. Division, 3 and 2 tenths divided by 10 squared. Remember order of operations, you have to do the exponents first. So this is 3 and 2 tenths divided by 100. And so if you work this problem out, you get 100 goes into 3 and 2 tenths how many times? Put the decimal right up because 100 is a whole number. Will 100 go into 32? No, so add a 0. Will 100 go into 320? Yes, 3 times. Now, once you've started with a decimal, you're going to finish it. Your decimal will either terminate or it will repeat. If it continues on forever and ever and ever, then we have an irrational number. You shouldn't run into too many of those. So let's see, subtract, we get 20. Will 100 go into 20? No, which is fine because I don't want it to, so add a 0. 100 goes into 200 2 times. Okay? So my answer is 32 thousandths. Now, take a look at what we started with. We started with 3.2 and we end up with 0.032. Same digits, just that our decimal point has shifted 2 places to the left. So when you divide, you move with a power of 10. Okay, it's only a power of 10. You move the decimal to the exponent number of places to the left. Because we're getting a smaller number, right? We're dividing. Well, what happens when you multiply? 3.2 times, and we know that 10 squared is 100, times 100, let's see. I'm going to put 100 on the bottom, just because I can quickly deal with those 2 zeros, and then it's a 2 and a 3. And how many decimal places do you have? You have 1, so your answer is 320. Now, we multiplied same digits, right? 3 and a 2 and a 3 and a 2. Just that when we multiply, we're going to get a larger number, and we have a power of 10, so we move the decimal, the exponent number of places to the right. Okay, so let's try another one. 1.36 times 10 to the 5th. So we're not dividing, we are multiplying. We're going to move the decimal. This was 2, so this will be 5. Move decimal 5 places to the right. So it'd be 1.36. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0, 0. Now don't write your answer like that. Rewrite it for me. Put the commas in the right spot. 136,000. So multiplying by powers of 10 or dividing by powers of 10 are really simple as long as you know the process. If you need to work it out, feel free to work it out. Okay? Otherwise, ask me or let me know if you have any questions. Put it in the note feedback form on the website or ask me in class. I'll see you then.